Hi students, and welcome to your online general psychology course. This week, in addition to our two chapters we'll cover, you also have your midterm exam that is due. So I talked about it last week, but it is, please note, due on Wednesday, February 21st, and it will cover chapters 1 through 7. So if you need a little bit more information on how to prepare for that midterm, please go back and watch last week's video, and I give you some study tips for that exam. So this week we are covering two new chapters, and that will be chapter 10 over motivation and chapter 12 over personality. So let's take a look at your module for the week. So under chapter 10, you're going to have a discussion question. I'll come back and talk about that. You will have 3 connect assignments, theories of motivation, self-determination theory, and then theories of emotion, and then your chapter 10 quiz. Okay, so 3 connect assignments and the quiz, plus this discussion question that I'll talk about at the end. For chapter 12, you have 2 connect assignments, one over the 5-factor model of personality, and another one over that's a matching assignment over approaches to personality psychology, and your chapter 12 quiz. So connect assignments for both chapters. The only chapter that has a writing assignment is chapter 10. So let's take a look at this. In this discussion question, I want you to listen to a podcast by Dr. Laurie Santos, who is a very renowned, well-known, and extremely popular, I think it's almost impossible to get registered in her courses, professor of psychology at Yale University. And her focus of her research is on happiness. So in this particular episode, it is going to be looking at this idea of altruism and how that feeds into happiness, and is your altruism tied to emotions, etc. So it fits in nicely with this chapter as you understand the theory behind some of those concepts here. So it's a free podcast. You can actually listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. I sound like a commercial there. But it is called Psychopaths and Superheroes. So she's going to deep dive on the difference between the two groups. Hopefully this link is one way you can get there. You can also go to where you get your podcast, and you're looking for season 2, episode 1. So that particular podcast episode. And then what I want you to do is to respond to these questions right here. So after listening to the podcast, just write, why do you think people go to extreme lengths to help others? So kind of express your thoughts on that question. And then write about, did the podcast make you consider your own level of altruism? And share a story, if you have one, of when you demonstrated altruism. And then finally, talk about if you agree or disagree with the statement that is shared in this podcast on how altruistic individuals are happier than people who are not highly altruistic, and justify your answers. So ideally have this post done by Wednesday, just as I've mentioned, so we have time to respond to each other. You're doing a great job with that. But after you respond to these 3 questions here, don't forget to respond to at least 2 classmates' posts for full credit, since it is a discussion question. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of info on this week's assignments. Again, you have the midterm due on Wednesday. It's that midweek. It's different for us because we normally only have things due on Sunday, so don't let that midterm slip by you. And then chapter 10 and chapter 12. We are skipping chapter 11. We won't cover chapter 11 this go around. And so make sure you get those connect assignments done for each chapter, the quiz for each chapter, and then your discussion question. And we are moving right along here as we look at the rest of the semester. You have week 7. We'll cover chapters 13 and 14. And then our final week, week 8, which we will cover chapter 15, and you will have your final exam. So all that commences before spring break, but we are within, less than a month of class being over. So you're doing a great job. Keep up the hard work. You're really kind of cranking down here. So get over that midterm hump with that midterm exam this week and smooth sailing up until final exam, okay? Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care, everybody.